right, guys, happy April 11th, coming to you feeling good, feeling excited, feeling grateful, feeling poised, feeling rested, feeling all things. And so, been doing a lot of reflection lately and get to travel with my wife 3 days a week to commute. And it's just cool to be able to just like chat with your buddy. I feel like I really value that time together and just being able to talk about things that, maybe we don't get to talk about throughout the week because kids and karate and gymnastics and we're tired and we're old when we hit the bed. I don't know about you guys, but as soon as I hit that bed, I'm done within 10 minutes, like done. I think I'm going to look at my phone or I think I'm going to watch Survivor. I've been trying to watch the same episode of Survivor for 3 nights. I'm getting 6 minutes in. It's really good thus far. Really, really good from the 6 minutes that I've seen. So, you guys, let's do this. I'm gonna have somebody bring us out on the field on this amazing, amazing Friday morning. If you do not have your cameras on, you have the ability to be here with cameras on, be in this moment, be present. I would love to see your face. So I'm gonna turn it over to Ophi, in your beautiful office with a view. I'm gonna turn it over to you and I'm gonna have you bring us out on the field on this Friday morning. And remember the sentiment, okay? That somebody loves you. Okay. Let's roll.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. And you are entirely correct. Somebody or somebody always does love you. All jokes aside, honestly, in this group, there is somebody who does love you. There is somebody who really deeply, deeply cares for you and one another and vice versa. So today I'm also full of gratitude. Honestly, it's just so amazing it could just be that the sunny skies are out now and, my vitamin D's up or something, but like that seasonal depression is real. And now it's like, oh, let's go. It's just the world is yours. You can do anything. There is no such thing as failure. It's only lessons learned and you pivot. Failure is if you stay down there and you just roll over and quit, right? And even if you did do that, even if you did, I'm pretty sure that you're fighting entrepreneur spirit. You're going to roll over and you're going to be like, no, let's do it again. Or you'll find some kind of way to come back. So
let's go. I appreciate the sentiment. I appreciate the smiles. I appreciate the enthusiasm on this beautiful morning. You guys, we grow together in this group. This is not a solitary effort. This is not that it's me. This is you guys. This group is for you. It's all about you. I want to go over to Cecilia really quick. Cecilia, you've been new to Keep It Moving, but you have been attending Keep It Moving. And what's one thing that you've learned about yourself or from this group in the first week of you attending these sessions? Let's roll.
Well, I feel like I've found my tribe a little bit. I think I kind of mentioned to you, I wasn't expecting people to be so open and just sort of honest. And I really appreciate that. I wasn't expecting that from the group. I'm used to people being a little bit more guarded, especially in like HR and the legal, working with attorneys. So I appreciate just the honesty and the vulnerability. It's been really nice. Yeah, it feels good.
Well, I appreciate it. And congratulations to Cecilia. She joined us officially, I think 3 or 3.5 weeks ago, but she officially got her first listing. Ain't that right?
It is. It's a co-listing, but
I don't give a shit if it's a tri-listing. It's a listing.
Okay.
Like, don't discount that. Your name's on that, right?
I know. I didn't do it all by myself, but it was really it's been a great week. It was awesome to meet with the client and give them the pitch and, so they would want to go with us, and it felt good.
Well, you know what? I absolutely love that. And listen, none of this is done by ourselves, right? We all have a team, right? The people behind the scenes, the coaches, the support, your team members, your mentor, your advisor, all these things, it all supports. But before we go any further, I'm going to have a quick pattern interruption, okay? Because I always like to put people in state, especially an emotional state. Bring this guy over here. Hi. Hi, baby. Oh, look at this guy. Or she's available. Somebody loves her. Whoa, whoa.
All I need is one more dog. I already have 4.
She smells like a little puppy too. Oh, sweet girl. All right, well, I'm a sucker. Get away from me because I'm going to take her home. Is she potty trained?
A little bit.
A little bit. Gosh darn it. Oh, what kind of dog is she?
Bulldog, German Shepherd, Great Dane, Pit Bull.
Oh my goodness. Don't take that dog away from me. She's going to go home with me. Anyways. Oh, she is. Oh, anyways. Hi.
Elias, I have
Don't say it.
I have a friend who's got a Frenchie that needs a home. There's two of them. They're 8-month-old puppies. They are so cute. They need a home. They've been socialized, all of the things. She is trying to find them a home. So
Okay, I'm going to be real with you. Frenchies aren't my thing. I don't like the way they sound. That's it. Sorry. I'd rather have that dog than a Frenchie.
does
Not my
Silas feel the
thing.
same way?
It's not my thing at all. Moving on, but I appreciate the plug. You guys, let's get right into the sentiment of the day. Really quick, Jacob, good to see you here, my man. I know it's been a really, really tough week for you personally. I'm really glad that you're here, sending love, light, positive energy to you and to your family. Hope all is well. If you need anything, brother to brother, human to human, I'm here for you, my man. But let's get right into the sentiment of this morning. So I had a wild idea yesterday, and Ashley helped me out a little bit, and I'm going to talk more about this in the coming months, but I'm thinking about doing an intensity lender edition. And so I need to understand that realm a little bit more. And so I was talking to a really good friend of mine, did 100 million last year in loans. And, we were just having a conversation, and she said something that really stood out to me. And I'm going to put this on the screen here really quick. And I think it was really, really powerful. Oh, it's not that one. Sorry. It's this one here. Let me pull this up full screen. And the reason why I'm going to share this with you is because we all hear information, and we get information from different sources. You hear different people talking about the market, and sometimes they're going to take the same information and they're going to give their narrative on it in a completely different way. And it's not saying that that person's wrong. Everyone has their own crystal ball. Well, if you're educated enough, then you can have your opinion on whatever's happening locally, nationally, because you can hear an economist say one thing and a different economist say a completely different thing about the state of the market. And so my question to each of you, I don't want you to take a picture of this. I want you to resonate with this, and I want you guys to sit with this for a moment. And here's the question. And I'm going to have Kelly Hilker read this out loud. She had to put her glasses on for a minute.
Are you educated enough to have an opinion?
Say that one more time for the people in the back of the room.
Are you educated enough to have an opinion?
So I'm gonna leave that there for a quick second. I'll put it back up in just a moment, but I want to leave it out there for you guys to think about that. Tell me how you interpret that, or where your mind goes. When I put that up on the screen, I want to hear from you guys, because I think that this is some really rich conversation. But are you educated enough to have an opinion? Who wants to share their thoughts, their vantage point on that one sentence? Because I thought it was powerful, and I have my thoughts on this, but I would love to just open it up to you. Ashley, was that an ear scratch or was that an actual hand?
That'll be a hand.
Okay, cool. Listen, I want a couple people to get involved. I know that you guys are thinking right now, so don't be shy. Get your hand up. Let's get involved in the conversation. Ashley, let's roll.
Okay, so there's a lot of stuff going on in the headlines right now. There's a lot of stuff going on in the economic world, and you have to know what's going on to be able to talk about it with confidence. So yesterday I put on my stories and I made a reel about explaining the tariffs, explaining the market and what's going on right now. But prior to doing that, I listened to like 4 different podcasts by financial experts. I went into different websites. I read a bunch of news articles, and then I formulated my own opinion based on all the different perspectives that I had heard. And then I was able to confidently deliver that opinion. Well, the result of that, and I sent it to you because I was really excited about it. I don't know if you guys know who Sino Homes is, but they were on my Instagram and saw it and reached out and had a positive feedback based off of it. So you have to do the research, spend the time, sometimes it's hours, to really understand what's going on so that you can formulate your opinion with confidence, and then you can be the resident expert.
Yeah, and Ashley, as much as you believe that you're an expert, have you talked to another expert that might have a different opinion and vantage point than what you have?
Yeah, absolutely.
Same data, right? They just have their different opinion on it. But here's what happens as realtors and as real estate professionals. We know where to go for the information, and shame on you if you're not reading about this industry. Shame on you. You think you want to go out there and get that $30,000 check, but you're not spending time weekly listening, reading, understanding the market at the highest level, locally, nationally, so you understand patterns, trends, and you have depth in your conversation. Shame on you. Let's say you are that person, which I believe you're here, so you are that person that reads, that studies, that understands, that's looking for patterns, that's taking notes, that is disseminating all that information out there. So it's one thing to have the comprehension. It's another thing to be able to practice that dialogue and how that dialogue is delivered to other human beings. So that is a practice in itself. We're going out there and we're grinding, we're knocking the doors, we're shooting the videos. That's all good and well. But are you educated enough to have an opinion about the market? Everyone has their crystal ball, and everyone's crystal ball in their own mind is correct. But some of us, unfortunately, don't do enough work to actually have an opinion that matters because we're not educated enough about the market. Can I get an amen? Can I get a hallelujah? Can I get I agree with that sentiment? All right, good. You can leave her in here if you want. I'm gonna go over to Blessing, then we're gonna go to Kelly, then we're gonna go Joanne, then we're gonna go Jeff, and then we're gonna shift gears in the conversation. Let's go, Blessing. What you got for us?
I love the way that you just summarized that, because it does come down to, are you in the business enough to have an opinion? A lot of times we get that imposter syndrome, feeling like, oh, I can't do this, I'm not smart enough for this. But it just comes down to, are you spending time actually looking at what's happening? And especially if you don't have the buyers that are forcing you to look at what are homes selling for, what are people like, what's an offer that's getting accepted. If you don't have that person that's actively there, you may not necessarily feel the inclination to like dig in and do that work. But that's going to be the thing that gives you the confidence to speak and to advise your client. So the reason why, like, I love this quote, or the question, because sometimes we just get busy working on the superficial of the business and the marketing of the business, which is great. But if you don't have that dig down, okay, what is actually happening, so that you can talk to a consumer, if that's where your fear point is, then nothing else matters, because you need to get into the data. And sometimes it's as simple as just checking the MLS every day to see what's new, what's pending, and then call a listing agent to see, like, hey, what did that offer? Like, why did your sellers choose that offer? That's one little nugget. When your buyer comes back to you and says, what's going on with this? Oh, I talked to this agent. Here's what the circumstances were. Like, it automatically elevates you with that client, but it elevates you within yourself. Like, you know what to do then to get the information so that you're solid going forward. And it's just that. If you're not doing it, that's why you feel like you don't have an opinion.
You know, I really appreciate your vantage point on this. Listen, you guys, everything that we do and as we grow in this business is going to be a constant evolution of you comprehending the information about the market and then practicing the articulation piece of it. This is constant. Remember what we did through the NAR settlement, right? We had to understand what was happening in the settlement, why we got to that point, and then what were we going to do to communicate it. Now, the buyer representation agreement, it's just part of what we do. It's part of our flow, right? There's no questions about it. When we had to do a PED, we had to first off understand what a property entry advisory disclosure form was in order to properly articulate to our consumers. And so this is evolution at its highest. You guys should be spending time reading, understanding the market, and then practicing, how do I articulate this in layman's terms so anybody that I talk to at the airport, in the grocery store, Trader Joe's, they can understand what I'm talking about. So Blessing, really good stuff. Let's go over to, I forgot who it was, Kelly Hilker. Gary, make sure to throw your hand back up. I don't want to miss your contribution, big dog. Kelly, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so I just feel like, you said, are you educated enough to make an opinion? Well, I also believe that it's like, I have my facts down. I know what's going on in the market. And it's not just an opinion that I'm going to have. It's actually going to be backed by factual components. And therefore, compiling all of that, being able to give them, yes, my opinion, but backed by facts. So it's, and also historically what's happened and all of those different things. So yeah, I think it's super important. Yeah, it's great we have an opinion, but we got to have it backed by facts and stats.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. Are you educated enough to have an informed conversation with a consumer right now? Right? Can you get on the mic and spit some fire about what's actually happening in the market? And that's your responsibility. So really good stuff, Kelly. Let's go to Gary Archer. I don't want to miss your contribution. I'm going to go to you, then I'm going to go to Ophelia, then I'm going to go to Joanne, then I'm going to go to Jeff, and that will be the last contribution on this subject. Let's go, Gary.
Man, what I think is going on here, like you said, are you educated enough? Do you know enough to even have an opinion? Usually what you got to understand is whatever you're having an opinion on, someone else already brought something to you, which helped you create this opinion. So I know if I care about something, the last thing I want is someone wishy-washy trying to ruin my data with just an opinion, right? So like, when you care, other people care. So like, to me, it's like you have to take the time to care enough about the results to even start mentioning how we got there. I just think there's too many people just fluffing by, like you said. And it's all of our fault if we don't have data that's available to us. I talk to artists all the time about that. Like, okay, you have 300,000 streams. I'm like, where do they come from? How many we have a day? What city? I don't know. I said, so how can we repeat something we don't know how we did?
Yeah, really good stuff. I want you guys to really check the depth of your dialogue, right? Check the depth of your dialogue. If you feel like, oh my God, if an investor asks me that question, I just don't know. If they ask me about the market, I just don't know, and you're fearful. And subconsciously, what happens is if you're fearful of getting these tough questions asked to you, what happens is that subconsciously you're fearful of making prospecting calls or doing the prospecting because you feel that you might get up against the wall. When you have all of the information, when you're reading, when you're dissecting, when you're practicing the articulation, you're like, come at me. I don't care who you are, what you have, but come at me because I'm ready for this, right? I'm ready for this. I'm trained, I'm skilled, I practice. That's why I'm an expert in my field. Some people in this game just think that they're going to get a $30,000 paycheck and they didn't do all the work behind the scenes. And I promise you that thin veil will be revealed. That will be revealed. Let's go to, I don't see that person on anymore. So I'm going to go to Ophelia, then we'll go to Jeff. Let's go, Ophelia. What do you got for us?
So here's something that just happened to me, and Blessing can vouch for this. So we were on a listing, just kind of pre-listing game plan, right, with one of our sellers. Before I got on that phone call, I checked in with Ashley. I checked in with another loan officer that I trust highly. I went and did my due diligence online. I came prepared with tariff information, right? Because it had just happened. It had like midnight, the morning of, we have this Zoom meeting. So we discussed it, everything. We're talking about pricing. One of the sellers is very adamant that he wants something very unrealistic. Anyways, I summarized that, put it in writing, right? Emailed it off. Within a couple hours, the wife, the other partner, she's like, I sent this to my attorney. And now my words in black and white is now copied and pasted into this woman's argument. Now the attorney has it. Now the attorney sent it over to his attorney. I was like, oh shit. I mean, I wasn't worried. I was just like, oh, like, let's not forget. We need to back it up. And I felt
That's right.
like it was just, I was like, oh my God, next time I better be a little more softer in my delivery. Cause it was a little harsh in my delivery, but it was blunt. It was black and white. It sometimes it was the truth. I couldn't sugarcoat it. But it went off, and I voice memoed Blessing. I'm like, shots fired. But it's just a true testament of, you better know what you're talking about. You never know what's going to happen. The person's going to run, because you are the professional. We are held to a higher standard. What comes out of our mouths will be repeated, will be at times regurgitated in a certain way, and or printed and sent off to an attorney. So it could be now Exhibit A in some, I don't know how far this is going to go, but yeah.
You know, I absolutely love this. You guys have to ask yourself right now, let's just be real. Let's just be real. Is your dialogue weak? or is your dialogue rock solid? Right? Like, is it weak? Like, yeah, well, yeah, the market's hot. You know the basic stuff, right? You guys aren't basic people. You guys aren't mediocre people. You guys are trained, skilled assassins. That's what you guys need to think you are, because I think you are, but you need to back that up. You need to make sure that you're researching, doing the homework, and then you're practicing the articulation part of it. Knowledge is one part. Comprehension is one part. The articulation part of it is equally as important. So, Ophelia, appreciate it. Let's go to Joanne, then Jeff. Jeff's been waiting with his hand up patiently. Joanne, what do you got for us?
So I was just going to say, like Ashley said, perspective. So getting different perspectives, reading different sources of information, not all from the same source, and kind of compiling all of that different opinions. And that's really what can help you form your own informed opinion versus just reading one source of information, listening to one person's podcast. And that really helps you become the most informed and allows you to make the most educated opinion.
Yeah. You know what? I love the authors and I love the writers that will take something that was written from an economist or something that we all think to be true in the market and be like, let me tell you why I don't like this and why I don't think that this is true, right? Let me talk to you about a P&L and why companies that are not having separate P&Ls don't really have an accurate P&L because they're using rev share, they're using their company money, they're using, you know, all their outside businesses, title, lending services, and they're rolling it all into one P&L. Well, that's not right. That's not an effective P&L. And so you can have your opinion on something, but you have to be able to combat and battle things. And I think that that's some of the greatest stuff that I like to read. I'm going to go over to Jeff. Let's go over to you. And then we're going to shift gears in the conversation. Let's roll, Jeff.
All right, let's make this quick. You know, it's I've encountered this a lot, of course, in our industry, but I think just in general, usually I don't know if say usually, but in many cases, the ones with the strongest opinion are the ones least educated on the actual topic. And it just makes it frustrating sometimes because if you are educated on a topic, then you know all the different nuances of the topic and will, you know, listen to other people's opinion about it and then form your own. Whereas other people, you know, again, we've all dealt with the, I don't know, uncle or father or cousin that sold a home or gotten a loan, you know, and they just have just an incredibly strong opinion about what they should do. And they're the least educated, you know, on the topic. So that part's frustrating. And the only way we can combat that is, of course, be as confident as possible in our own opinion. And you do that via education and knowing so that you can push back and provide good, you know, good feedback in terms of what they're telling you and be able to object to their opinion or tell them why. You don't want to tell them why they're wrong, but maybe tell them more why you're right. So.
Yeah, I love that. And instead of telling somebody that they're wrong, can I offer you a different perspective, Silvano? I'm not picking on you, Silvano, just picked a name, but can I offer you a different perspective? Well, sure, you can offer me a different perspective. So Jeff, really astute. I love your vantage point on this. Before we shift gears in the conversation, you guys, something major happened in our industry yesterday. And this is going to test your knowledge about what you know and understand about where we're at. And this happened with the relationship with Zillow and some major companies, including ours yesterday. Who wants to share with me their understanding about what just happened yesterday with Zillow and how this, since you're at EXP, most of you are, how is that an advantage to you when you go and sit at a listing table? Does anyone know this? Okay, cool. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you guys study. So I want you guys to find the Inman article, this is buzzing right now, you guys. I want you to go in and find out about clear cooperation and what just happened yesterday. And here's the cliff notes for you. EXP has now formed an alliance with Zillow. And the reason why this is important is because some brokerages are saying we have private listings within our organization, that only if you access our internal platform, our internal website, will you be able to see access to those listings. Now, if those said brokerages choose to ever go live with those listings, Zillow will not allow them to be on Zillow. Okay, think about this. The largest platform on the earth for home buyers and sellers, and they will not be allowed to put those on the Zillow site. That is a powerful, powerful move, especially if you're up against a company that says, oh yeah, we have all these listings and we'll do it off market. We're going to market to our internal group. Wonderful. That's awesome. But if we want to go and hit the open market, we can't go on Zillow. My house can't be on Zillow. I'm seen by the millions and the thousands and the masses. You guys, this is a big conversation that I think that needs more legs. So what I need you guys all to do is research Clear Cooperation, Zillow, and go and EXP. Search it in ChatGPT. You're going to get the whole entire story. I think that it's worthy of a conversation on Wednesday because we always talk high level about the market. I think it's worthy of that conversation. So I need a commitment from each of you. Do I have your commitment from now until next Wednesday? You guys are going to do your research on Clear Cooperation, how that impacts you as an agent. Do I have your clear 100% commitment that you guys will do this?
You got
How
it.
how many of you want to win more listings in the future? This is about understanding your market and how this impacts our industry. And we've gone back and forth with Clear Cooperation. I've been hearing about this for the last couple of years, and here we are. And I feel that we're in such a good position, because we're not doing that as a company. Now, other companies will do that, and I have mad respect for them. However, this is going to be a game changer in our industry. So if I'm going to encourage you to do one thing today, it's go do the homework on what's happening with Clear Cooperation. So when you're up against a seller that's talking about who they're potentially thinking about listing with, it's a no-brainer to go with you. Make sense? Any questions on that vein? Any thoughts, contributions before we move forward? All right, cool. So go ahead, Ophelia.
No, that was the old hand saying, yes, I want to win more listings. My bad.
Okay. All right, cool. So I have something prepared for you guys. I shared this probably about 2.5 years ago, but I think it was important now because we're talking about, really understanding your market. And I want to share this with you because I know how applicable this is to where we all are. And this is about being relevant. And I want you to really ask yourself, on the same vein that we've been talking about, are you educated enough to have an opinion? How relevant are you in your market and in the industry right now? Right? Sit with that for a second. How relevant are you? How much time are you spending reading? Can you go back and be like, wow, and then this last month I spent, 25 minutes a day reading about the market. And I feel that every single month I'm getting better, and I'm really, really well versed in what's happening locally as well as nationally. How are you staying educated and informed? How much reading are you clocking every single week? How many local events are you attending about the market? Are you going to legislation day? Are you attending national events to dive deeper into the market, understand what's going on? Are you following Harry Habib and all these people to make sure that your knowledge, or Barry Habib, to make sure that your knowledge is at the highest level? What makes you relevant? From your tech, your tools, your relationships, your community involvement, what makes you relevant in the market right now? And I'm not asking for an answer. This is you sitting with your own thoughts and being like, what does? And if you can't find it and you're searching and you get your pen to say, what makes me relevant right now? And you can't start writing, there's a disconnect there. There's a disconnect there. You're not doing enough. You're not educating yourself, and you're not in the right room. So you need to step it up. Be visible. You guys, we talk about this all the time, but I'm going to spend a quick minute here. How many videos are you going to drop this week? We talk about this almost every single week. How many videos did you drop in Q1 of 2025? How many videos did you drop? Was it 10? Was it 5? Was it 0? Were you even visible at all? You talk about being relevant. Well, wasn't relevancy and visibility, aren't those one and the same? How many videos will you create in Q2? You say, you know what, Elias, I'm committing to 3 a week at least, reels. I'm going to do 10 stories a day. And you all have the power to own your own visibility and own your own fame. So the more visible that you are, the more trust you build, and the more trust you build, the more people are likely to choose you and want to work with you. So imagine this for the next year. We do this every single year of business planning, but I wanted to reflect on this for a minute. Imagine if you created 5 reels a week, okay? You went all in, 5 reels a week, and you did 260 annual reels. And every single day, you documented your journey and you did 10 stories a day. That means that for the year, you created 3,640 stories and people saw your reels, 260 of your reels. And now that goes out to the algorithm. Hopefully, look at Eric King, what happened last week. He went viral on his very first video, 1.2 million views. It's been shared 47,000 plus times. And it's just him and his son singing a song. Right? Imagine the type of visibility that you have from this type of content creation. So what type of visibility have you created for yourself by the end of the year? And how many people have seen and been able to experience the beautiful, beautiful brand of Blessing? So being visible and being relevant are one in the same. And so I wanted to share that with you and get some feedback and some thoughts. Anybody have any thoughts and contribution on that before we unpack the action that you have taken this week? Because we're going to get into that conversation. Anybody have anything that they want to share, contribute, or add to the conversation? Going once, going twice. Okay, I see a hand. Joanne, what do you got? And Blessing, what do you got?
So I just wanted to say that almost every time I post a reel, I get DMs from somebody that I know that doesn't comment, I don't know that they're watching, but they always send me a DM and say, hey, I love watching your reels. I always watch your property tours. So just wanted to put that out there that there's always people watching and you don't know that they're watching.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Blessing, what do you got?
I heard somewhere, ask yourself, not somewhere, I heard from an old Keep It Moving video. If a film crew were to be following you, what would they see? And so if you think about if you were to have someone following you in everything that you do, are you showing up in a way that you'd want your consumer to actually know? And then think about that. Create your own reality show. Let them know exactly what's going on in the market, what you're seeing, and then what your life looks like. I know that's the very simple sentiment that has been the undercurrent of your message, Elias, but if we think about that, we're going to run into people in our communities that see us and say, oh, you make me want to buy a house. That's exactly the response we want. So we have to keep that going.
Yeah, Blessing, well said. Appreciate your contribution. Let's go, Ro. What do you got for us, Ro?
I was just going to add, good morning, everyone. If my mother, my 75-year-old mother, can comment on my reels, then someone's seen them. She usually has some. She always says, "I'm not criticizing, but don't wear that color," or "Don't sit so close to the microphone." So it made me realize that someone has seen it and it could be beneficial. So
I love that. I love that. Some of our folks are our biggest fan. I don't know if there's a story that I've dropped in the last 2 years that my mom hasn't seen, liked, loved, commented on. My mom is a cheerleader to the end. So let's turn it over to you guys. I want to talk about action. It's Friday. And obviously you guys have been out there showing homes, creating videos, booking appointments, getting that hard fought battle, whatever it is. I want to know, what action did you take this week and what were the results in your business? What action did you take this week and what were the results in your business? And I'll start out to get the ball rolling. So you guys, as you know, we launched our very first Intensity for Teams. Intensity, as you guys know, is the ultimate high-level accountability group. I had over 115 people on a Zoom call on, was it yesterday morning. Like, to think about that. Intensity started with about 20 people and now it's obviously grown and now I'm offering it to teams. And to be able to see the action that happened in one event was really, really cool. So I want to share that with you. You guys know all the hard work and that is just that moment. And see, what people don't realize and they don't see is they see you handing over keys. They see you doing your cool listing video. They see you doing the welcome home type of video, but they don't see all the other stuff. They don't see you falling asleep on the couch reading HOA docs. They don't see you telling your kids that you got to miss the practice. They don't see you on the phone negotiating. They don't see you trying to help a client figure out DocuSign because they're just old and they just don't get it. They don't see all the late nights, the early mornings of you stressing and figuring things out. They see the milestone, which is the moment. But what we do in this game is all about the process, because at the end of the day, you get somebody in a contract, it feels good, congratulations. Well, guess what? That win, you don't stay there. You got to go all the way back down to the bottom. Got to go all the way back down to the bottom and create that again. So if we're just living for that win, that shit's just in the moment. It's the process is where the stickiness is. And so this is something that people are seeing the success of it. I experienced the action, coming full circle. But you guys, it's all the things that have been done behind the scenes. And the moment has been, wow, look at what's happening. But you guys, there's so much going on in your process that I really admire. I'm going to go to Ophelia. Let's go to you. What action did you take this week? And what were the results? And we'll go over to Christina Macias. I saw the hand and then I saw it go down. Let's go, Ophelia.
I didn't want to keep talking, but so as many of you know, I joined the board for Solano Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and one of the president, he's so gung-ho to add value and teach and whatnot. Anyways, there's this class that he's structured based off the book Traction, so on the EOS model.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh yeah, I've done this before. We've done this, and so partnering with him as he's teaching, I'm able to really just continue to add value with him. And members and people that are not members are starting to see value, and they're now becoming members. And so it's been super exciting because I was just there and I was like, wow, everything I've learned here, I'm applying outside, and I'm just loving the momentum. So from that, we're possibly thinking if I get more familiarized and all, he'd like to have me proctor it in future members, which would create more exposure to more business owners for me. So it is exciting and nervous and there's a whole mix of things, because to be in this room, to be in this stage per se, it didn't happen overnight, and it was grit. Right. It was a lot of grit. It was a lot of standing outside of my comfort zone, putting myself out there, accepting who I am with, bumbling my words or saying things backwards because of my dyslexia type thing. So embracing that has released me from it. I'm sorry. But anyways, yeah.
No, I love it. I'm listening 100%. And for the book, if you guys have not read the book, I highly recommend that you read the book. It is called Traction by Gene Wickman. It is a powerful, powerful book. And we do this occasionally. Well, we have done this occasionally with business planning. We'll probably bring it back, but EOS stands for Entrepreneurial Operating System. So it's a really, really great way to run your business via rocks and operational efficiencies. I think it's one of the most powerful books for running your own personal business as well as running a large organization. So highly recommend that you guys read that book. And that's where VTO comes from. Your Vision Traction Organizer that we have coached and trained on comes directly from that book. So Ophelia, you'd be a perfect proctor for that. I love that. You have a great style, great energy. I'm rooting for you to be a proctor on that. Let's go to Christina Macias, then we'll go over to Brandy. What action did you take this week and what were the results in your business? Let's roll.
Yes. So since I'm working with my first buyer client with Liz, I wanted to do the inspection. So I went there, and I know everyone always talked about like, oh yeah, we're always looking at this and that in the homes. But since on my last deal, the inspection was not great at all. So I was like, I need to go to this. I want to know. And it was great because I got to meet with him. I asked all the questions, like, what should I look for when I go to my friends' houses, and just silly stuff. But I actually learned a lot from just going through the inspection with him. And so it impacts my business because now I feel more prepared. Now in the next one, I'm like, okay, well, here are first things that we should look at and note when I'm working with a buyer. And so I think moving forward, it's just going to prepare me better for the next consumer.
Absolutely. I love that. You guys, if you have the ability, if you have not, make sure that you are sitting at an inspection and you're listening to them and just asking questions. And some inspectors, they just love to talk. They are all for you being there at the inspection, report, and then asking really, really detailed questions. And that's on a similar vein. So today, you guys, in-house at HQ, some of you are already coming, I know it. We're doing a buyer consultation workshop. We're going to be diving into material facts. We're going to be diving into disclosures. We're going to be diving into the presentation outline, the flow, the cadence, the rhythm, how do you explain certain parts of the presentation. So that's an area where you want to raise your level of skills. Get in the room today. We're going to be right here. We're going to go full tilt for a few hours, you guys. I promise you're going to leave this room better than when you walked in this room and have even more clarity on how to do a fire buyer consultation. Let's go, Brandy. What do you got for us?
Okay, so this is like action that has led to like some really big wins. And the action didn't even start with business. The action was us making some changes in my own life that rolled into attracting business. So this week I decided to not go into the office. And it was kind of like this, like, what do you, like in my head, I was like, wait, going into the office is exciting. It's exciting. I get a lot of work done, all this stuff. But I noticed that going to the office was also my escape from some realities at home. So this week I was like, you know what? I'm staying at home. I have some projects that I really need to finish that I also need to, you know, I need to work. So you need to get your mind right, be able to do your projects and work and face it at home. And so, yeah, and then I realized, you know what, like, let's show some honest vulnerability. Let's open up. So this week, some of you guys were tagged in my stories. I have shoes, men's shoes that are for sale. Anybody wants some men's shoes? But I also realized my entire garage is just full of a lot of weight that I've been carrying around. I have a whole storage full of a lot of weight that I've been carrying around. A lot of wasted money that for some reason in my mind, I justify that it's still worth it. So no, this week I put a stop to it. So I opened up and I was like, Brianna, will you come over? Brianna came over yesterday, helped me do half the garage. We got half the garage finished. Also, I made some other changes, set some goals up for my family for business actions that if they happen, this is what we're going to do. And immediately, the second I sat down and started doing that, boom, I got a text message from a client that was like, can we rewrite an offer? I was like, oh my gosh, I got an offer accepted that night. And just all these other positive things happening. Like in the midst of all that, I also reached out to Antu and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to really practice what I preach. Like, I do feel like I am a reality show person on IG. There's still a lot of stuff that people don't see. Imagine that. But I even reached out to Antu and was like, you know what? I also need to start making my house look like my home. Like, if you guys walked in my house, I don't have a couch. There is nothing on the walls. Like, you'd be surprised. And it's because I don't like dead weight. Like, facts. I don't like dead weight. So my couch that I had with my family went because I was tired of staring at it. And things like that. So I reached out to Antu, have a consult with her coming up of how to like do some good French way for my house. But yeah, after I did all that client texted me and it's such a meaningful offer, got that in contract. But even doing that offer, I had to show some vulnerability to that agent that there was a lot of parts of the contract that I didn't know about. And I had to tell her that. And she was like, hey, I'm in the business to helping another agent. This is, well, we went through and we worked together and got an offer accepted for both of our clients. So huge win. So I'm super excited.
Brandy, I love this. I love this. And, Brandy's had some, unfortunately some loss in her life. And now she's going through the process and it's a healing process. And, I'm sure it's hard to let go of some of those things, but I feel it's necessary for you to kind of have some type of closure. And so I appreciate you sharing. I can only imagine what you're going through. And so I really appreciate you sharing. But also, being able to reflect, like, I'm not going to go to the office and I'm going to hunker down and I'm going to do some things that I know that I need to do that's going to serve me in the future. And congratulations on getting in contract. So love this. Really, really great conversation. Anybody else want to share some of their action that they've taken this week and the results of Kelly? Kelly, would love to have you grab the mic and share. Kelly has just been on a tear this last week. And last couple of weeks. Kelly, do you want to share? The question is, what action have you taken and what has been the results? Kelly, do you want to share? Kelly's on a call. I'm going to go on. So I didn't see that she had their phone up. All right. Anybody else want to share, contribute to the good of the cause? Let's go to Blessing, and anybody else go ahead and throw their hand up. Let's go, Luis. And then I think I see Kelly, and then we'll start to come full circle in the conversation. Let's go, Blessing.
So one of the things that I did at the end of last week is really go through all of my active buyers and see who is closest to transacting, like where are they, what needs to happen. So with my list, I identified 7 7 people that they've been close, and it's like, okay, let me just put the next steps in front of them. And then also with some transactions that were stale and stagnant, like what would be the best way to get this to the closing table? So because of that, I did have 2 transactions canceled, but we got both of them into escrow again. So I have 2 new escrows. I've got 1 more offer that's out for signing. Thank you, Ashley, for hounding the listing agent. So we'll probably get that ratified later today. I'm taking out another client at 11 to go see a mobile home that we will put an offer on today, and then meeting clients in Stockton later this afternoon. And then tomorrow also doing another showing. Thanks, huge shout out to Jacob for doing showings with our lead that we're partnered on earlier this week. Cortez for taking out our other client and letting that up. So it's just really being very clear on these people are here and they've been waiting. Like, what are they waiting for? And the only way that they're going to know what they're waiting for was for me to take some really massive decisive action in, like, why are they just sitting here? Like, okay, here's the next step. And really, I won't say stepping out of my comfort zone. I think it's just, there's so many people, which is the best kind of problem to have, is like, where are they and what happens next? I can't plan for 3 or 4 weeks from now, but it's like, okay, what is the best next step for this group? Okay, set them up, whether it's a consultation, whether it's just to go see some property or just to send them some, or maybe they actually aren't ready. Did I freeze? Maybe they aren't actually ready, and sorry, it looks like I froze there. It's just, what's the best next step for each client? So right now I am at 2.5 pending escrows. And then we did get the commitment to go live on our listing with Ophelia. Super excited about that. Just staying as busy as I can possibly be.
Comcast as well, so they can fix your internet, because it's slow today, like mine gets at my house, but it happens. So appreciate your contribution. Luis, my man, coming live and direct from his mobile office, always in the car. Let's roll, Luis. What do you got for us? What action did you take this week, and what was the result in your business?
So one of my biggest actions was I dropped my ego and I was willing to ask for some help. I didn't realize how much I was getting in my way. And I reached out to Elias, and he helped me find some gaps in my business that I really need to work on. So if you guys really need help, reach out to Elias. He's there for you. Drop your own ego, ask for help. There's lots of resources out there.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Luis, and I appreciate your vulnerability and what you shared with me, my man. He shared some things that were glaring, that were standing in his way. And if we just make this 1 millimeter shift, his business can be in a completely different direction. And so I'm glad that you said that. Sometimes we got to swallow our ego. I have a coach. I have a coach. I've been in this game for years, but I still have a coach, somebody that I lean to and ask for advice and ask for guidance. And how would I have this tough conversation with this person? I have all of you guys, but I'm also a leader in the organization. It's 2 different hats. Intercommunication or interpersonal communication is important. So we're all growing, we're all evolving. And so never be too prideful to just raise your hand and say, hey, is there something that you might be able to help me with? And I don't have all the answers. I've just had a really big lab. So really appreciate that, Luis. Really good stuff. You guys, before we go any further, I'm going to pause and I'm going to do a quick plug, and I want to honor some people already. So let me share this. So you guys see some names here, right here where it says full name. These are all people that have taken the brave step to sign up for Intensity. Now, Intensity starts on the 14th of next week. If you have never been a part of Intensity, I promise you this: amazing things will come in your business, in your life, as a result of this program. The habits, the skills, and the discipline that are formed in this program will echo far past the completion of this program. So I want to encourage you, if your business is not where you need it to be, want it to be, desire it to be, let me kick you in your ass for 6 weeks. Okay, let me kick you in the ass for 6 weeks. Raise your hand if you've ever been a part of Intensity. Raise your hand. And take yourself off of mute if it had an impact in your life, health, business, and relationships. Take yourself off of mute. Just say, heck yes, hallelujah, amen. Give me something.
It absolutely did.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So you guys, listen, there's no fee for fast agents at all. If you're a non-fast agent, I'm charging people $4.97, and it started once, I think, at $99, but it's now $4.97. And if you're a team that wants me to run intensity for you, it's 10 G's. And I do not negotiate on that. So you guys, this program is designed to take you to the next level in your life, business, health, and relationships. And I promise you, if you do the work and you surrender to the process, only amazing things will happen. You're gonna have to win the battle along the way with all the shit that's going on in your own mind. Oh my God, I'm gonna stop and I can't do this and for me. No, you committed. It's the 75-day heart of real estate. You can do this. Step up, dive deep, and make sure that you finish the program. That's all I have to say about that. Let's go around the room and get some key takeaways from some people on the call. On two, you had your hand up really quick. I don't know if it was an intensity or something else. What is it?
Oh, I just wanted to say something before we leave. If you guys have kids or nephews or anything, or, children, come to my Easter ice cream party tomorrow. It will be fun. I bought some
Is
things
it
for
here?
the kids too.
Where's it at?
It's in Newark. It's in Newark, California, on Benetton Street. So I'm gonna drop in the message for the
All right,
address.
cool. All
Thanks,
right, cool.
guys.
Appreciate you. All right, let's go around the room and get a couple key takeaways. Ernesto, my man, SoCal, how you doing, big dog? Let's hear from you. One key takeaway from our time together today. Let's roll.
Fearless and consistency. I see the whole group, fearless and consistency. 2 words, but this is my 3rd time on there. I'm the stepchild out here in Southern California, but I want to get more involved because you guys have an amazing group up there. I wish I was closer, but I'm really trying to make this happen. But consistency and fearless.
Man, I appreciate you, big dog. It's really good to see you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being present. I'm going to go over to Christina Macias. One key thought, one key takeaway from our time together today.
Just make sure that you are leaning on your team, and that if you have any questions, don't be afraid to call. I know I'm always calling my mentor for what I think is a stupid question, but it's helped my business, so I encourage everyone to do it.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Jimmy Thomas, one key thought, one key takeaway from our time together today.
Hey, happy Friday, everybody. This was a great call. I think what resonated to me on the call was about having our opinion about the market, really studying this stuff, because you never know what a client or someone off the street can ask you. If you're wearing that badge as a real estate agent, we got to know our stuff. Or, it's no more winging it. Just know your stuff, read a little bit every day. And my quote for today is, don't watch the clock. Do what it does. Keep going.
Okay. All right. I love this. I love this. All right. Let's get one more key takeaway. Ariel, I'm going to call on you. Your camera's not on. I'm hoping you don't leave us hanging. Ariel, what is one key thought, one key takeaway from our time together today? Going once, going twice, going 3 times.
You do this to me every time, and I'm always working out.
Well, listen, you're here in this environment. I'm going to call on you. Let's roll. What do you got first? One key thought.
Okay. Key thought is that I need to be up to date on the market. I need to be doing more market research.
Yeah, and one place that you can go every single day is in Slack. Just go to Market Updates. We curate it. It's easy for you to access it. So go there every single day. And if it's just the Pomodoro effect, 25 minutes of increments every single day, small bite-sized chunks, you'll be better off than not doing anything at all. So Ariel, I appreciate your contribution. So you guys, listen, it's Friday. You guys have open houses. Hopefully you're coming to our buyer workshop today. If you need anything, I am 100% here in your corner to help grow, help you push. I will never ask of you to do anything that I'm not willing to do myself. I'm still growing. I'm still taking shit to the next level because I'm not going to settle for the life that I have now. And I love the life that I have now, but I got really, really big dreams, really, really big dreams. And what I want to help you all do is unlock those dreams and help you along the way to what you're really, really pulled to. So if you need anything, let me know. As always, keep it moving toward your dreams, goals, and vision, and go out there and make this a weekend that matters. Peace.